Hi friends, it's Doreen, and today I'm gonna be making zucchini bread. Right, the zucchini is in abundance, so we've gotta make us some zucchini bread. And this zucchini bread is gluten free. So if you have gluten intolerance or have friends that have celiac, this is a great recipe. I toned down the sugar a little bit on this one, um, so that's a plus too. So go ahead and join me today. Let me give you a call and see if you're on the zucchini hotline or not. Zucchini bread today. Daily. Anyway, let's get cooking. Let's grate up this zucchini. And I'm going to keep the skin on because I like the color of it and I think the nutrients. Now this was from someone's garden, one of my friend's garden. So we've got nice, we know where it's come from, a nice fresh zucchini, and I'm gonna do about 2 cups of that. Let me move this a little out of the way. And I'm gonna use this handheld grater. I think that'll give me a nice rough, coarse chop. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. I said we need 2 cups of this. You want to do this early on because we want some of the water to drain out of there. So go ahead and grate this up. I'll come back. You don't want to see me grate the whole amount. We'll put this in a little colander or sieve so it can drain out some of the water so our recipe doesn't get too much liquid in there. So on we go. I'm getting some of the seeds in there right now. So that's the thing about having a big zucchini. I think you get more seeds. I'm going to go ahead from this smaller end. Just want to watch your hands on this because these little tines on here are sharp. That should be about 2 cups. Let's give it a try. It's a 2-cup measuring bowl. Nope, not quite. Let's see, we got 2 cups now. Yes. Let's get a spatula. I'm going to actually put this in another little bowl right now. So we're using 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And this is actually gluten-free. I don't think I've tried zucchini bread gluten-free. I may have. Let's make zucchini bread, you know, usually annually. But right offhand, I can't. And I'm just scooping that in there and leveling it in. So we got 3 cups there. All right, let's add our eggs. We're going to add 4 eggs to this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these are they extra large or large? Oh, they're large. Oh. Wash my hands before I do that. Set these aside for now. Alright, so we're going to whip these up and then we're going to add the coconut oil. We're going to use about 1 cup of softened coconut oil. And I have these eggs out at room temperature. Pretty much always do my cakes room temperature. And I never totally pay attention with my breads, to tell you the truth, but I thought it doesn't hurt, right? So we're going to use coconut oil, and I thought about melting this, but it's pretty soft, so it should incorporate pretty good. So this is a 1/4 cup and measuring cup. So there's a 1/2 cup. Probably just have a cup in this container. I have another one in my pantry, so no worries. And you could use butter, but I think the butter might overpower the zucchini, because zucchini is so like mild in the flavor. So oh, we had a tad left over. There we go. It's a whole cup there. I really suppose we could have melted this. I'll wash my hands again. It's the time of year where people have their gardens and they're giving you some nice produce from their gardens. We had lunch with some friends yesterday. They have an apple tree and a plum tree, so I'm definitely gonna make some recipes out of that. You'll have to catch those videos. I'm planning on making a crock pot plum cobbler. I've made that a couple, probably maybe 3-4 times before. It's so easy and it's so very yummy. So I'm just incorporating this. It's really melting down the coconut oil. I guess we don't have to worry about overbeating this, right? Because we don't have the flour in there. Let's go ahead and get our sugar in there. And we're going to use about 1 and 1/4 cups of sugar. Some recipes call for an awful lot, but up to 2 cups. I'm like, I wanted them. I'm like, I can't quite do it that much. That's just a little bit too much sugar. So we'll see with the gluten-free flour how we do. So like I said, I'm not sure if I did the gluten-free zucchini bread before. So I'm trying out this new. I just want that sugar to dissolve some here. All right, gotta put our flavorings in. So this one, I'm gonna put some chopped fruit or some fruit cocktail, canned fruit cocktail. I was gonna do pineapple, and I didn't. We're gonna use like 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and then we're gonna use some rum extract. But anyways, I was gonna use canned pineapple, didn't have that, so we'll use the fruit cocktail. And I also have something else yummy in there, so I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of rum extract. So I got this spread. Let me go get that real quick. I got this pineapple, rum, and coconut fruit spread. I'm gonna put some of it inside of the zucchini bread, and some I'm gonna glaze on the top. That should be yummy. We could actually put some coconut. I might put coconut in here. Now, if you have people that don't like coconut, because you know that could be iffy. Because not everybody likes coconut. They don't like sometimes even the texture of it. But I think it would really be nice in this dish. So, and this smells really good. So just give that a good little mix up. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside where we're gonna drain our zucchini next. Wash the hands again. All right, let's go ahead and strain our zucchini. And I've got this little mesh basket, and I'm just holding it over the sink, and I'm gonna press that down with a large spoon, and you'll see you'll get some. Well, it's not too bad right now. We got some. Let's see if you can see any. Oh, there's not much liquid in there. Oh, there we go. Just need a good firm pressing down on there. If I put it in a bowl, you could see how much liquid we actually got out of here. Probably get maybe 1/4 to 1/2 cup. I'm thinking we'll get 1/2 cup. And I'm just moving this spoon around to different sections. There we go. I would say that's about 1/2 cup of fluid. Let's go ahead and add that to our egg and sugar mixture. And then we're going to put our fruit cocktail in there also. I'm just giving this a good stir so it's mixed in thoroughly. And then we're gonna get our fruit cocktail. Now we got probably a good 1/4 cup of liquid there from even after we drained the can. So I'm just gonna put that in there. I'm I'm going to put the whole chunks in there because this will mush down quite a bit in the cake. You can puree it a little bit if you just want the fruit flavor and you want smaller pieces. I'm going to call this more rustic, so I'm going to have the chunks in there. All right, let's set this aside. Get our bowl for our flour or our dry ingredients. Okay, let's mix up those dry ingredients. We got 3 cups of all-purpose gluten-free flour. I'm going to take one of my whisks and just give that a little whisk through there. I didn't sift this, but this will kind of give us a little bit of, like, it sifted a little bit. So, not that you really have to sift that, but. All right, so we're going to take 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and we'll mix that. And we're going to use about a teaspoon of salt. There's a lot of sugar in here, so that's going to balance it out a little bit. I mean, between the canned fruit cocktail and a little bit of that pineapple spread, that's going to add a little sugar. And then we're going to use 3/4 a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and we're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. And I'm just using this just to incorporate it through. And we're going to add this to the wet ingredients, or we're going to add the wet ingredients to here because this bowl is bigger. But one thing I didn't put in yet is our pineapple spread. So this is a 10.5 ounce jar. It's Better Goods, and I believe I got this at Walmart, but it's got pineapple, rum, and coconut. So let's, if I can open it. There we go. Let's get a tablespoon. I'm not going to measure this out. And also, reminder, I'm saving that some of that juice of that fruit cocktail. Because maybe I'll make a simple syrup with this. Make our. So I used about half of that jar. And I'm going to just stir it enough so it dissolves a little bit so I don't have big clumps of it. Probably should have. Probably should have melted that in the microwave in my little measuring cup. But it's dissolving a little bit. You could use your hands and mush it up if you want to. If you're like me and thought, you probably should have put it in the microwave for just a few seconds, like maybe under 10 seconds. Because you don't want to put that warm, you don't want to get it hot and put it in with the eggs and stuff. So wash the hands. All right, I think I got all my seasoning in here that I wanted. Yep, and I decided not to put the raisins in there, but I am going to put a little coconut. Let's see. You could use unsweetened or sweetened. I just have some unsweetened here, and I need to use this up before the end of the year. So let's put. No, we should mix all the other stuff and then add this. Yeah. That's what we'll do. I'm going to put about half of the mixture in. And you don't want to over mix this. All right, let's put the other half in here. Smells good. Let's see how it tastes. I said, you know, we always make zucchini bread, right? Probably every fall. Most of us do. And sometimes you just want to change it up a little bit. So I hope this is going to be really a nice change. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to get real specific here. I got 2 handfuls. I'm thinking it's a cup. Yeah, that's about a cup. You can use sweetened or unsweetened. Not overdoing it. And then we're going to pour this in our greased pans. You got to bake this in the oven for about an hour. And I'm thinking this should fill 2 cake pans. Or not cake pans, 2 bread loaf pans. Let me tell you, I've had these for, these used to be my mom's. So these have seen a lot of zucchini bread, homemade bread. My mom used to make homemade bread somewhat often. And I don't do that too much. I think about it, but then I never get to it. All right, let's see. Let's see. I was going to use a big spoon, but let's just pour it in. Now, if I wanted to, I could measure this out so I know exactly it's got the same exact amount in there. But I'm just going to eyeball it today. Now, this bread, it's going to be pretty dense. So it will, that's why it takes a good hour. And when you go to stick your toothpick in there, it might be a little bit wet, but we'll take a look at it so you can feel confident it's done inside. The top is going to be nice and golden brown. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So let's get that in our oven and we'll see you back when it's done. Yeah. All right, it is time to take those lovely zucchini breads out of the oven. They've been in there about 55 minutes. And they look nice and golden. Nice and golden brown. All right, and we're going to take a toothpick or a little got some of those longer toothpicks, one of those party ones. Let's go. Oh, you can't see. All right, let's go ahead and see if these are done. Oh, totally. They're coming out clean. I'm pressing down on it, kind of bounces back. It could have probably been even maybe 3 or 4 minutes less, but it looks pretty good. We're going to let these cool off. I've got our sauce reducing down to pour on the top of it. Let's give that a stir. Keep that on the stove for a couple of minutes. Let that reduce down a little bit more. Hi friends, it is the next day and I'm glazing my zucchini bread. Now last night I had a piece with a cup of coffee and it was really good. I could have probably added a little more sugar. It wasn't all that sweet, but I wanted to reduce down the sugar because I had put that fruit cocktail in there and I was like, oh, that's sweet. But it could have been a tad sweeter, but with the glaze, that does add sweetness. So if you're looking for a dessert to reduce the sugar, go ahead and follow this, but you certainly could add more if this is not sweet enough for you. And also too, I would have cooked this about 5 minutes less because it's a little more brown than I wanted, but still tasted really good. So this morning, I'm going to go ahead and put some glaze right on the cake or the loaf because I think I'm going to bring it to work. So this morning, I'm going to go ahead and glaze the whole thing. I had to take my pictures, and I have to take my pictures of this anyway, so I want it to look pretty. But you can also, but when you're making yours, and if you know this is enough batch for 2 breads, I went ahead and just wrapped this up. I'm not sure if I'm going to give this away. My daughter hasn't been feeling good, and this is gluten-free, so this would be great for their house. And I don't want to put the glaze on there when I'm wrapping it up. I'll send a little glaze, and they can put on the last minute. You could probably put some glaze on, let it dry, and then like put some freezer wrap if you're going to put it in the freezer, but I don't know how, you know, that's going to be, like how sticky that's going to be and how much of your glaze is going to come off. So anyway, I would save the glaze for after or right when you're ready to serve it. This would be great if you serve it still warm, but that doesn't always happen, right? And this is great for breakfast. All right, friends, I've taken some pictures of my zucchini bread. Now it's time to give you the taste test. Now, I already know what it tastes like, but if you can see in here, we've got bits of the fruit cocktail. Like I said, ultimate, it would be the best if we had just crushed pineapple. That's what I was aiming for. And I went through my cupboard and I'm like, oh, I guess I used my pineapple. Well, I have fruit cocktail. That'll work. It's fruity. This is so moist. And I made this yesterday and it's still really nice and moist. Little flakes of unsweetened coconut in there. I feel like it's even sweeter today than yesterday. A little hint of the cinnamon and nutmeg. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And if you want a little sweeter, you want a little more glaze, add a little bit Some people put a little butter on their zucchini bread. Oh, this is so good. So I hope you give it a try because it's a little bit off the beaten path. So not too crazy, right? It's not too crazy. And you can probably add different fruits to it. That's the thing about zucchini. It's kind of like it's a very mild, subtle. You could make a zucchini banana. You can make zucchini chocolate. You can do a zucchini apple. That would be fabulous. I mean, hey friends, thanks for joining me today and making this zucchini bread. I hope you give it a try. Let me know how you do zucchini bread at your house. Do you put chocolate chips or nuts? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if you've got a very unique recipe, would you share it with us? Let us know what you do so we can give it a try. Hey, this is a great way just to celebrate. You don't have to have a birthday or a holiday. You can just get together with the gal friends and just have some coffee or tea and chit chat and just catch up on one another. It's a good excuse to make a yummy dish. So also, if you haven't checked out any of my videos, I do have a lot of other fall recipes for you. I've got a deep dish apple pie, apple crisp. I have an apple cake. We have, for coming up for the holidays, we do have uh, gingerbread and cranberry trifle that is really out of this world. Go ahead and catch that. Maybe I'll put that up here. Yeah, so we've got different fall desserts ready for you to explore and enjoy. And I just want to say thanks for watching and hope you have a great week.